And I have what I have lovingly referred to as a spiritual anxiety attack. I start crying. I mean, can you imagine? Can you just imagine? They say these 9 specific angels are going to come through and write a chapter in this book. And it freaked me out.
Hey guys, welcome to our SoulFam Podcast, where I interview space holders from all over the world. I'm your host. My name is Karolina, and I'm the manifestation mentor. Today on the show, we have Kelly Bowker. And welcome to the show, Kelly. How are you doing?
I'm wonderful. I'm so happy to be here, Carolina. It's wonderful.
I am so happy to see you again in here. You're one of our top favorite mediums and channels in here in our podcast, and I'm so happy to see you again because you have some new things to share with us this time, completely different than the last time that we spoke. So I'm curious to know, because we touched upon the topic of chakras before we started recording, and I love talking about it. Like, even my ex-partner used to tell me, "You're so cute when you talk about chakras," because I talk about chakras all the time. So yeah, I just love this topic so much. So I would love to start with that, with this whole story of how you got to know about chakras and how it all came to you, and also what you've discovered on your journey on this path of discovery.
Oh boy, thank you. What a great, wonderful question. So I think it was in November of this past year, I published my first book. And when I got done publishing it and it went live on Amazon, I started the second one. I just knew. And it took me a few starts and stops to get going, and thinking that I was going to have a little human input. That's always laughable when you start living your life being guided. You just know that you're not, you just kind of, I love it. You got to take your hands off the wheel and just let things happen. So I was working the process of writing my second book. And one morning, the way that this process worked for me this second time around, it was very different. And I would get up in the morning and I would just kind of meld my energy and I would say, give me a title. And they would give me a title to a chapter. And then I would use everything that they had taught me up to that point to write from Kelly's perspective. And I would write, and sometimes my jaw would start to shiver and I would write, they want to talk, and I would just shift and I would transcribe what they brought through into the book. So it's really cool. Well, this one particular morning, I do that. What's today going to be about? And I clear my mind, and they show me the cover of a book that I own, a book that I bought probably 25 to 30 years ago. I knew exactly the book that they showed me the cover. So they said, go get the book. Okay, I went and got the book. I've never read the book. It's a little thin book and it's about angels. I get the book and I sit back down and I say, okay, what next? And they said, write the names of the angels into this document. Okay, so there's a list. I didn't even realize it at the time. They weren't numbered. There was 9 angels, and I didn't put any of it together about 7 chakras. Didn't put any of it together because I didn't know anything about it. So I put that all in, and then I say, okay, now what? And then I get this big download, and they say each of the angels are going to come through and they are going to write a chapter in the book. And I have what I have lovingly referred to as a spiritual anxiety attack. I start crying. I mean, can you imagine? Can you just imagine? They say these 9 specific angels are going to come through and write a chapter in this book. And it freaked me out. At that time, they took me through a process of release. Now, I didn't know at that time, this has been a very fast-paced journey for me. I've been learning much every day that I go along. Now I know that my angel team is part of my guides. And so they all melded together and they took me through this process of releasing unworthiness. I had to release unworthiness. When I was able to release unworthiness, they said, okay, we're going to start tomorrow and you're going to just speak the name of the angel and they're going to come. And at that point, I just went, okay. And so one at a time, the angels came through, starting with the angel Ariel, who's above our head, and ending with Angel Michael, who's between the chakra system and Mother Earth. Angel Ariel is white. It's all the reflection of it all. Angel Michael is represented by black, the absorption of it all. Each angel built upon the last one. Angel Ariel came through with a big download, and she talked about she's the angel of knowing and oneness. And she explained that when Earth became populated and all of the different decisions were made about the different experiences like duality and linear time and the emotional continuum that humans have as part of their day-to-day life, which is fairly unique. The Earth School is definitely a unique experience. She said that the decision was made to gift, and that's how she worded it, to gift the human race with the chakra system to facilitate their success dealing with the things they had to deal with. And I'm going, holy crap on a cracker. Because in my lifetime, I'm almost 60. I was almost 60 or just 60 when this came through. I had never done any work with the chakra system. I kind of looked at it like woo-woo, and I mean the colors that go with it, and the this that go with it, and the that, and I was kind of skeptical. It just never resonated with me at that time. Remembering that I have quite a religious background, and so it just was another thing for me to wrap my mind around. But I mean, when you got angels tapping you on the shoulder saying, "Hey, girl, you're gonna be figuring this crap out," you listen. Even as stubborn as I am, you still listen. So, it takes a brick upside the head sometimes. But so I started to just, each angel came through and each angel built upon the last. And the first angels, they're so gentle with me. Karolina, they are so gentle with me. They just know us all so well. And they knew that I thought that the colors were kind of hokey. And I've lived my life in the top half of the chakra system. Chakra system is divided into the top, the bottom, and then the middle, right? I mean, and so the three on the top, those angels came through very quickly because I've always had, my heart has always been open to the cosmos. What I did not have was that connection to Mother Earth. And so when I got to the heart chakra, that was Angel Faith, and she gave me what she wanted to about the heart chakra. But when I went to the next angel down, and that angel was Angel Casil, and I'd never even heard of that before. And she, of course, resonates with the color yellow, and she brought through the importance. By this time, they've kind of got me beaten into submission a bit of understanding, and so she's the one that said, now it is time for you to realize that color is frequency, and you can use the frequency of the color to facilitate. We are here all the time. They've told me that they are here all the time. They are working this energy. They've given me, and we'll talk more about this, but they've given me, they're calling it a circuit. It's a circuit, a full circuit of energy that we're part of that runs deep, deep into Mother Earth, up through our chakra system, and then deep out into the cosmos and back. And those loops of energy, the part of what the angel team gave me step by step was seeing this beautiful visual in my mind of the infinity sign, the energy traveling out, and doing multitudes of things. It is picking up codes and frequencies that we need. It is transforming energy that can be transformed, and it is releasing what no longer serves us. And it travels out doing those things. It comes back through our chakra system, and it goes down into Mother Earth doing those same things. And Mother Earth does her beautiful magic to it and works with that energy and sends it back. And they've shown me these figure eights, infinity signs, are going in all directions all the time, whether we know it or not. But when we start intentionally working with them, it makes it so powerful. It makes it so, so powerful. So that's kind of where the beginning of that is, me waking up to just the understanding of it, the understanding of the reality that the chakra system is a absolute living, breathing, pulsating, energetic thing. And it's a tool. It was a gift. It was a gift from the creation, it was a gift. So I mean, it's pretty cool.
Wow, that's such a beautiful story. I love that. I love how you were able to surrender after some time. And I think it's very important that you mentioned that you needed to release unworthiness from your body first before you were able to channel, because it's like, oh, I'm not worthy for the angels to come through me. And I feel like so many people have these patterns of unworthiness, but it's like, why not? It's like every human is worthy of everything. And so we are worthy of channeling whatever we want, right? The angels and so on. So that's such a beautiful story. And I'm curious to know, after you shared this, you saw these infinity symbols and you say we can intentionally work with them. So what would be the practice that you were shown, or that you maybe tried, experienced on yourself when you were working with these infinity symbols? How can we visualize them? How can we clear the channels in our body, clear the chakras, or connect to the cosmos and to the Mother Earth from your perspective? What kind of practices have helped you utilize these infinity energies to work for ourselves and to serve us?
Oh, super, super question. So I will go back to my second book. And my second book is called Establishing Your Frequency. And it really is almost like an owner's manual for vibrating where we want to be, maintaining our frequency where we want it, to collapse the timeline that's before us that has what we want in it. It's the law of attraction. It's a little bit different on it because they've shown me this beautiful, they are I suppose they utilize the tools that I have, and I am a very visual person, and they've just shown me that in every moment we are in this present moment. That's why my YouTube channel is called Present Moment Magic, because that's where the magic is. And in this moment, we have infinite possibilities and probabilities ahead of us. Where our frequency is the timeline that we're going to collapse. It's like, picture a big dial and it's click this way and then it's click that way. Wherever, if we're having a bad mood, click, click, click that way. Click, click, click that way. That's how we navigate. That's how we create our world. So there's a lot of information in this book, and there's a lot of processes. They called them tips, tricks, and hacks. And I thought about that with them. I said, that's too mainstream. And they said the reason why we are using that word is because the energy of our world is changing. We are moving faster. Everything is faster. They said we can now do it with hacks. We can balance our chakras with a tip and a trick. It doesn't have to be a big, long process. So, but it was a lot. There was 9 angels, and each angel brought through a process. So it was a lot for Kelly, human Kelly, to absorb it all. I wrote the book. It came through me, certainly. I published it. I got my copy, and I read it beginning to end. And just like all of us, when we read a book, you take from it what you can, those little nuggets that stick with you, and the rest is there for next time. And that's how it works. So that said, I'm going along my merry way. I love my YouTube channel. I do a lot of YouTube videos, and my guides seem to bring things through to me and in what I call themes. Like, there was a theme about there being no mistakes. That was a theme for a few weeks. Then all of a sudden, this theme about sound started. Sound, the beautiful healing ability of sound. And I was like, that was interesting. And then that's the way they work. Something here, a YouTube video here, a conversation there. All the serendipities that are just, it's like boom, boom, boom. Kelly, we're talking to you about sound. Will you catch into this? We're talking about sound. So these things about sound started to come through, and I went on a YouTube just morning, like I always do. I ask my team, I always say, take me to something that's going to bless my heart today. And I just start scrolling and we'll hit something, and it was about toning the chakras. And she had a list of sounds, a kind of vowel sounds, A, E, whatever, that she, in her, there's lots of different ones out there, but this is the one that I happened on. That's the one I used. So I made myself a little cheat sheet of the name of the angel, the color of the angel, the color of the chakra, the chakra that it went with, and the sound. And I started to practice and I started to study them. And so I would just sit down and I would practice. And so, I might, the bottom three are ah, ooh, oh. So I would just sit and I would go, ah, ooh, oh, ah, ooh. And I would just feel my energy. It was like, holy moly. It was like turning the dial really high. So I really started to play with it. One thing led to another. And one day, I go through the entire chakra system, I tone them all, which has taken me into a beautiful altered state. I am connecting that energy. I can just feel my energy is just running and just purifying and balancing, and it feels good. And I just spontaneously, I started to sing. And I grabbed my phone and I hit record, and I recorded it. Couple of weeks go by, I'm practicing this toning, the different things. Some things are feeling very much stronger than other things. So I'm kind of fine tuning what is the best and what feels the best to me and this and that. I'm driving in my car one day, and again, I had been toning, and all of a sudden I just start belting out this music. The first time there was English words. The second time it was light language. And it's just coming out and going. So I record it. I listened to both of those recordings that came through 2 weeks apart, and the melody was the same. And when I realized that, they gave me a knowing, a download. This is your gift. So they've given me this gift of this beautiful melody. So I send it off to friends of mine who are able to listen to music and turn it into music. And so they have created this beautiful piece of music that I'm putting these tones with. So when you bring it full circle, they are telling me that this is a key to open a door. In the same way that meditation creates space and quiets the mind, so does toning, but it doesn't take it nearly as long. So when you talk about a practice, I'm starting this. I do this all. I just put it out on YouTube. When they give me stuff, I put it out. And I haven't quite got to the point of being able to put out music because my microphones won't let me yet. I'm trying to get the right technology, and that's my biggest challenge. I can talk to angels, I can talk to the guides, I can channel Mother Earth, but to figure out technology, that is the hard part for me. So I have to figure that out. But the practice is learn to, with your sovereignty, with your power, sitting in that knowing you are one with every master that has ever lived. You are one. You sit in that energy and you evoke the color, the name of the angel, and the tone. And so when I go to the root chakra, it's Angel Sarah, and it is the color red, and it is the sound like cup, and you tone. And you go through your whole thing, and then they've given me a little combination that honors Angel Ariel and a combination for Angel Michael. And it is, I have my jaw standing off. It is incredibly powerful. It clears. I had never used the terms, Karolina, in all of my meditation, in all my life, and in my evolution. I had never used the terms across all timelines, dimensions, realms, and incarnations. When the angels came through, they brought that through. When I did that, when they took me through that first process to release unworthiness, they had my arms cast out, and I am loud they're doing it, I'm channeling them. They are saying across all timelines, across all realms, dimensions, and incarnations, we command that this energy is released. And I mean, Kelly's up here listening, going, "Holy cow, they're very direct about this. They're really getting going," you know. But I believe what we can do when we do this toning, I believe that we can release in this conscious moment, reaching as far as we can, as much as we can. And that's not to say that tomorrow we might be able to reach farther. So, yeah.
That's beautiful. Yeah, I resonate with it a lot because I've once in Costa Rica, I was just swimming in the water and there was this man just like singing really loud on the beach. And I was just like, oh my God, it sounds like such a shamanic cleansing sound. And then I went out and I was like, oh my God, like your voice is so powerful. It's like, yeah, I'm just cleaning all the chakras with all these, different sounds. And I was asking him for solar plexus because at that time I had some blocks in my solar plexus, and he told me to practice awe as the sound, and I did actually. And sometimes when I'm like super lazy and I don't want to bother going into like inner child healing or doing like a deeper kind of work, I just make sounds and movements that are enabling me to move the energy, and I feel like for me it actually really works. And I can see how because it's all about moving energy really, and resonation and vibration. So if we can move it, if we can resonate and we can activate these chakras, these channels of energy, the energy can flow through a little more. But for me, actually, on my journey, I started like 8 years ago, and my journey has started with chakra system, but from a little bit different perspective, because I actually even wrote my own chakra meditation, but it's all about also colors, but more about emotions, because I feel like each chakra is also resonating a specific frequency, and our emotions also have specific frequency. So how I approached it in my journey, it was just feeling specific feelings, so that it's like we can do two things at once. Once we can activate the chakra, but also we can reprogram at the same time our neurology, our brain, for feeling good. So, we can feel safety and open our root chakra, but at the same time, the safety, when repeated, is going to be ingrained in our psyche as more of a natural neural pathway to go, in a way, right? Because that's how we can form different like neural pathways in our brain. So for me, it was about like feeling the emotions that are activating specific chakras. And actually I ran an event maybe a month ago on a festival here. I ran a chakra meditation, and the lady told me afterwards that she had her first Kundalini awakening after this meditation. So I was just super glad that just by imposing emotions, feelings, asking ourselves some questions, and just really bringing out what resonates, what feelings resonate with specific chakra, you can really open the whole flow of the energy. And I feel like, mudras help, sounds help, colors help, emotions help. It's all interconnected with each other because it's all energy anyway. So however we approach it, we can really powerfully change our energy, which is great. But actually, I wanted to ask you one more thing. Oh yeah, I know. So you said about this unworthiness, right? How your guides told you to just drop the unworthiness across all times, dimensions, spaces, realities. So how did you feel in this process? Did you actually have to feel it to heal it, to go into the unworthiness, or did it more feel like you were carrying like a big luggage on your shoulders, and then it just kind of like dropped? Or like, because many people say feel it to heal it, but to me, feel doesn't necessarily always mean feel the emotion, but more feel the energy moving in your body or moving out, or like just dropping the energy, because we don't always need to feel emotionally for the energy to leave our body. So I'm curious to know how this process of releasing unworthiness has gone for you.
Well, that's a great question. I actually I did a virtual retreat, and I toned the chakras, and then I took them through the process. And it's a YouTube video, so it's out there for people if they'd like it. But basically, I had fallen into the unworthiness, so I was feeling it. That wave of that is true, that it had every bit had just boiled to the surface, and I felt, just like, how could this be happening? How could this be me? Why me? Why me? That was just this wicked just wave of, I can't believe that I can say the name of an angel, because at that time I could channel my guides, but it was opening to the all and the all coming through. What's happening in my life now is I'm now beginning to get the different entities with them identifying themselves. But this was the first of that kind of thing where this is Angel Ariel, and I felt so different. When they came through, it felt so very different. So I was definitely feeling it. And to really shorten the process down, it was basically a swirling vortex from the cosmos down to a point in my heart chakra, and a swirling vortex going the other way down to Mother Earth, and the point of my heart being the center point. And they, like I say, I was channeling them, and they're talking, and they're making my arms go, and it's like we're swirling the energy. Picture, ask it, what color is it? And so in my mind, I go, what color are you? And I see red and I see pink. And I think that anytime you do it, it could be a different color according to what it's working on. And so it's coming in, and they're saying with this ferociousness, we are breaking up, we are breaking up, we are going in, we are going into, and they would be very repetitive, into cellular structures, into energy structures, esoteric structures. I mean, they were just I mean, we are going in, we're going in, we're breaking up, we are breaking up. It's going into the vortex, and they just swirled it, and it was like whoosh. It went up and it went down, and it was like, holy, I mean, I am crying. I am flapping on the chair like a carp on the beach. I mean, it was huge. It was an amazing experience. And I did try to interact it, but I want to share a little something about how they use us and how they help us along. So I'm doing all this work around sound, and it's amazing, and I'm finally owning it, and I'm owning my chakra system, and I'm having the word that always comes to my mind when I say, what is it doing? It's clarity. I just have a level of clarity and openness that I didn't have that is just so wonderful. And they had been bugging me, read the angel section of your book. They talk in my head all the time. Read the angel. So yeah, I will, I'm gonna. Busy. The summertime in Maine, things are going. Read the angel section of your book. Read the angel. Finally, after about 2 weeks, I'm like, okay. And I fix a cup of tea. I go out, I sit down, and then they drop in, why don't you listen to it while you read it? Because all of my downloads from the angels and from my guides over time are all in my phone. I thought, oh, that's a good idea. As a teacher, past teacher, you listen and you see it's better learning. So, okay, this is what I'm going to do. So I go to it. I had not one bit of memory that the angels came in on tones. When I turned on the recording, they told me to say their name. So I sat in meditation, I grounded and I cleared and, I did some of that stuff. And then I sat and I would say, Angel Ariel, Angel Ariel. And then light language would come. And light language then, which I hadn't remembered, turned into tone. And the tones and the melody and the whatever came. And then the angel could ride that wave in. And I hadn't remembered it. And so it was almost like they were like, sweetheart, you're just getting it. You're just putting it all together. We already had given you this, but you didn't get it. You didn't get it in writing the book. You just didn't get it entirely. So that, we've given you this other path too, to make it a little bit more chunked up and step by step. Soon after my second book came out, a lady had bought it and read it, and she had emailed me. She's on my YouTube channel, and she had sent me a message or a comment maybe, and said, if you could do a YouTube video of the meditation, it's like each angel brought a piece, a little piece, and then the next one brought the next piece and the next piece, until then there was this energy flow, but I couldn't see it clearly. And when she asked me for it, I've read the section again and I tried to think, how can I put this? And then it wasn't time. I had to put it all together. I had to get the tones. I had to be able to see the colors, and I had to have their names in my heart. And then I can see in my mind. It's kind of like a takeoff of when you see in a science book, a depiction of an atom. You know, the atom and everything is going in all the directions, all those, the neutrons and protons are all going, or whatever it is. I don't, not much into science, but that's kind of what it is, only it's this figure eight, it's the infinity. And that cross is going in whichever of your chakra systems it needs for the code that it's picking up in the cosmos, or to release down to Mother Earth what needs to be released. It's crossing. And I asked them one day, is it working if we are not aware of it? And they said, absolutely yes. However, when you join your powerful intention and you start to use the tools that we're giving you, the tone, the color. Now I'm going to be doing some research on the emotions of the different ones. One of the angels of the bottom three had me, they said, go out. You do not need to reinvent the wheel. Go out on your internet and find out basic what body systems go with which chakra, and go back into the whole section and put those in. Put in the color. And so at the end of each angel section, I put in the color this, and these are the body systems that they go with. And they're going to build on it. I know that they're going to build on it, and it's going to facilitate our healing. But it's also, I really want to touch on, people ask me all the time, how did this come? How were you able to start? And that is a really difficult question. I had been meditating for years. What I can now look back on, I realized that in my meditations, I learned to connect to the energy and to create space. Okay? Took hours and hours and hours and years of meditation to get me to the place where I could feel that energy. So what I want you and all of your listeners to know is that when I go, and I feel that vibration and I feel the edge of that vibration, that's what I feel like when I'm connected to energy. That vibrating feeling, that is it. They can use that. So practice and feeling the edge of it, feeling the space that it creates. Sink into your heart chakra and do a, oh, feel the edges of it in your chest. See the space. Breathe that green smoke in. Feel the edges. It's the space they're looking for. It's the space that's filled with love and appreciation. When you settle into love and appreciation and you create space, that is the crack they're looking for. That's the crack in the frequency that they're looking for to bring these things through. And don't doubt that you can have it. Everybody has it. Everybody has it. I have a dear friend she has always gone into like this gibberish when she is in her joyful, happy, whatever place. And it's kind of a gibberish thing. And I said to her, I said, sweetie, because she's like, she wishes she knew how to do light language. I said, you don't know how. No, I don't know how to do light language. I get out of the way and light language comes through. It isn't knowing how, it's creating the space to just shift yourself out and to just let that beautiful language come through. But how do you start? Because you're human and we're used to being in control of our mouth. Let the gibberish come. And as that gibberish is coming and you have meditated and you are feeling joy and love, just start abba-dabba-doo, just start your mouth moving. And then, so your consciousness is here, start moving your consciousness out. Move your consciousness out as you, and then pretty soon you're trying to focus over here where my hand is, and they're going to take over. and they're going to be able to, because you've put it into gear. It's very difficult for them to take it from park to go. But if you've got it in go, then they can take over the control. And so that as far as like things to practice and use the tones. Oh my God, use the tones.
Wow, I love this recommendation, and I love what you said about creating space, because I feel like that's what is the most important. That's what meditation does, but that's what also other practices do when they bring you to the present moment. And the present moment is the space for me, because it's like you're present, you don't have anything else to focus on but the now. And so it's like the space without the mind, without the chatter, without the constant chase for something, just space, presence, consciousness, whatever we want to call it. But yeah, I love the practices that you recommended. I'm definitely going to try it, especially that I love sounds, I love music, and I love everything linked to that. So that's absolutely amazing. And so just to wrap it up, I would love to ask you, where could people find your books and all your other content? You said that you have a YouTube channel, but also like where can people buy the books?
On Amazon. On Amazon, Kelly Bowker, there's 2 books. The first one was redefining faith, redefining your faith, I think. And the second one is establishing your frequency. So it's redefining faith and establishing your frequency. I recommend, if you are trying to open up, the first book might be helpful because it's really a step-by-step of my journey of thinking I was crazy, all of that kind of stuff. But if you're only going to buy one, buy the second one. The second one, they gave so many processes and tricks and hacks, things as simple, Karolina, as every day every day we brush our teeth. Every day we need to clean our energy. Every single day. And to clean your energy, it takes a breath, just a breath and an intention. Just, angel team, clear and balance my energy. Clear my energy and balance my chakras. And when you're doing that every day, that's all it takes. If something kicks you out of balance significantly, then you tone the whole chakra system. And that only takes, I don't even know. It takes as long as it takes, 5 minutes to 20 minutes. I've toned for an hour before, just because I was flying with it, and it was beautiful and it was wonderful. But yes, I have. I'm on Facebook, Kelly Bowker Medium, and you can book a one-to-one session with me. I've done a lot of one-to-ones, and it's been such a blessing because I've got this beautiful tribe now of people that are part of my life and support me and facilitate me. My YouTube channel is Present Moment Magic, and it is truly a journey together of the different things that are happening, and it is far from done. Every day there's something new that they're bringing through, a different knowing, a different ability. It is pretty exciting.
Yeah, it sounds very, very exciting. And I love your energy. I loved it on the first podcast, but now I feel like you're even more in power. You're even more open. And it's just beautiful to watch your journey from my perspective. And so I recommend to everyone to check out the books and to check out Kelly's channel, because she's a pretty powerful channel herself.
Yeah, thank you so much. Thank you so much.
To talk to you.
Awesome. Well, it's been a pleasure to talk with you again. We'll do this again, I bet. And there'll be a whole nother new thing to talk about, I'm sure.